If you're a fan of Strat style guitars and you're searching for a guitar that blends the classic vintage Strat sounds that we all know and love with the feel and refinements of a modern guitar, then the guitar that I'm talking about in this video may be of interest to you. In this video we're going to be checking out this guitar. This is the Session T from Godin. So the Session T-Pro is Godin's answer to the classic Fat Strat. So what we have here is a guitar that is kind of designed with the working musician in mind. If you're someone who plays a lot of studio sessions or tours a lot, this is a guitar that's probably going to speak to you. Now, Godin as a brand are a brand that we don't tend to see day to day in all the music shops and in all our favourite guitar players' hands. They've always been a little bit of a working musician's brand. You tend to find that a lot of studio guys will use these, and a lot of guys who are not quite in the center of the guitar world focus, they'll be the Godin artists. And that's okay, because this brand have kind of built their legacy on being great quality instruments that have just been super reliable for studio sessions and live work. So the Session T-Pro is Godin's take on the classic Strat design. You can see visually, it's not exactly the same shape as a Strat, but you can see where the inspiration for this has come from. This is a guitar that can deliver a lot of those classic sounds, but it feels like a very modern guitar. And when I say modern guitar, I mean it has a lot of the spec and refinement that we would come to expect from a modern instrument. So it doesn't feel like a vintage Strat, but it can get you in that tonal ballpark. That's great for someone who plays a lot of live shows. If you have a nice vintage Strat that you really don't want to take on the road, something like this is a great alternative. So before we check out the specs of this guitar, I just want to let you guys know this is not a sponsored video today. Godin are not paying me to make this video, and I'm not keeping this guitar. This is just here on loan from Godin's distributor JHS in the UK for me to shoot this video with, and then it's going right back. But as always, all the thoughts and opinions in the video are my own. So price-wise in the UK, these are going to retail for around about the £1,700 mark. So this is not a cheap guitar. There are way more expensive guitars on the market, but it's still not a cheap guitar. So it's really kind of aimed at pro players and, like I said, guys who tour a lot, guys who do sessions, and just people who want a really versatile, high-quality instrument. So this is made in Canada, and it's incredibly well put together. In fact, since I took it out of the box, I haven't even tuned it. So the tuning that you're hearing in this video is literally the way that it came out of the box. That, to me, is kind of a testament to how well this thing is put together, because I checked the tuning and it was in. So you can't really ask for much more than that, can you, when you buy a guitar? It's just in tune when it arrives. So that's a very good start. So what we have here is a Strat style body, as you can see, and the finish on this they're referring to as Arctic Blue. Now this is a really Really nice finish. It sort of sits somewhere between like a slight turquoisey colour with a gunmetal grey sort of edge to it as well. I'm a really big fan of this colour. So body-wise, I don't actually know what wood this is. I couldn't actually find that information on the Godin website. It doesn't actually list that part of the spec. But whatever it is, it's lightweight and it's very resonant and it's very comfortable to play. So with this wood, whatever this is made from, you know, you could quite easily do a gig stood up with this thing on a strap and it's not going to break your back. So on top of the body, we have a few really cool things. So the first thing is this tremolo system. This is Godin's True Lock Tremolo. So what this is a vintage style trem. It has the ability, via an Allen key adjustment on the back, to lock the tremolo arm in a set range of movement. So on these vintage style trems, if you've got a guitar with this, you'll know you let the bar go and it does that and it kind of flops around and moves around, which is part of the design. But sometimes you want the bar to stop at a certain point. So with the True Lock system, you can actually adjust it so that if you let go of the bar, you can kind of choose where it stops. So you could just have, you know, like a 90-degree window of movement if you wanted to. If you always wanted your bar there, you can set it so it stops at that point, and it makes it much easier for you to grab. So you can kind of fine-tune the tremolo to your own needs, which I think is really cool. I haven't done that on this one because it's just a demo model, but if you bought one of these, you could easily do that with an Allen key adjustment in the back. Then we have a HSS pickup configuration. So this is where we go a little bit more modern now because we have a humbucker in the bridge. You can still get those classic strap tones as well. So the humbucker is a Seymour Duncan Saturday Night Special, and in the middle and neck positions, we have Seymour Duncan SSL2 pickups. The middle one is reverse wound, so when we're in those in-between positions, cancels out any noise. Then we got a master volume, a master tone pot down here with a push-pull switch. That gives you a coil split on the bridge pickup. I believe it's the coil closest to the bridge that remains active when you split them. And then we have a 5-way switch. The 5-way switch is connected like any good old Strat switch would be. So position 1 is the bridge pickup, position 2 is the bridge and middle, 3 is the middle, 4 is the middle and neck, and 5 is just the neck. So no kind of surprises there with how that 5-way switch works. And then if you've got the coil split enabled, position 2 will be the middle pickup with the single coil in the bridge rather than the humbucker. The fingerboard and neck on this guitar are Canadian rock maple. Based on the colour, it looks like it's slightly roasted. It doesn't say that it's roasted on the website, but it looks like it could be. This is also available with a rosewood fretboard if you want. We have 22 medium frets on top of the fretboard, and the fretboard has a 12-inch radius. The neck is actually quite a nice, slightly chunky neck. It's got a bit of a C profile. It's a bit fatter than what you'd kind of get from a modern take on the Strat. A lot of modern companies go straight in for the slim necks. This feels a little bit more classic in terms of its shaping, but with that super modern 12-inch fretboard radius. So if you're a fast player, you can get the action super low as well. Then up at the headstock end, we've got a Graphtec nut, the Godin headstock shape, and some Godin locking tuners. Locking tuners are going to be great for helping keep everything in check when we're using the vintage style tremolo. And on the back of the guitar, this actually comes without a tremolo cavity backplate. Now this is actually included inside the included gig bag for this. It comes with a padded gig bag. So if you want to put the plate on, you can. You just have to drill your own holes for it. So as it comes out of the factory, it doesn't have the plate because a lot of us just take the plates off anyway. The guitar also has a nice carved neck heel as well. So it's very comfortable for when you're getting right up at the top end of the neck. That fits the hand shape very, very nicely. This guitar is also a 25.5-inch scale length, so that shouldn't really be surprising based on the inspiration for this thing. So if you're used to playing Strat style guitars, this will instantly feel right to you. So spec-wise, that pretty much covers everything, so I'm going to plug this thing in now, and we're going to hear some sounds. So gear-wise, I've got the Godin Session T-Pro plugged into the Blackstar St. James 6L6. The amp is running completely clean, and that's going via the 2-Notes Torpedo Captor X. I've also got an overdrive pedal in the chain, which is the Origin Effects Halcyon Gold Overdrive, which I'll be using later on in the video. So I'm going to start now just by playing some clean tones in all 5 of the pickup positions without the coil split engaged. So there's some pretty great classic leaning tones there straight out of the box. I actually really like that neck pickup. It's got quite a percussive feel to it. That would be great for funk stuff. And then you've got those nice chimey in-between positions. What's really cool there is sometimes those in-between positions can be a little bit too throaty sounding, but on this guitar they've actually maintained that real nice clarity. So now I'm going to go to the bridge pickup and I'm going to split that coil into single coil mode, and I'm just going to play a bit on the bridge single coil and then the position 2 where we bring in the middle pickup. The position 2 sound with the split coil is really, really nice. It's got that stratty position 2 chime, but with a slightly less nasal quality. So now I'm going to go back to humbucker mode and I'm going to turn on the Halcyon Gold Overdrive from Origin Effects, and I'm once again going to play through all 5 pickup positions without the coil split engaged. humbucker has enough punch to be a good rock humbucker, but it's actually really well balanced for the single coils, because even if I go to the next single, there's not this huge kind of disparity in volume. So this is actually a really well balanced guitar. So if you're playing live and you're going from like a neck rhythm to a bridge lead, those two things kind of fit really well together. There's no kind of massive, output drops, and it's a very consistent sounding guitar. Probably the most consistent switching I've heard on a guitar in a while. So now I'm just going to split the bridge pickup, and I'm going to play on the bridge pickup and the second position with some overdrive. So there you go, there is the Godin Session T-Pro. Now this is a great guitar. I have never actually played a Godin guitar before, so this is my first time ever actually playing one, and I'm incredibly impressed. I always knew these were going to be good instruments, but I just never actually had one cross my path. But I'm really glad that I actually got to play this thing, because I really do like this. I think from my point of view as a touring guitar player, this is a guitar that I would actually love to have on the road with me, because number one, it feels great. It feels incredibly high quality, and it feels very reliable. It feels like the kind of guitar that I'm not going to worry about on stage. Also, it's a nice weight. So if you're playing long shows, it's not going to be a backbreaker. That's always a big plus. It's got a huge range of sounds, but also the thing that I really like is that it's so well balanced in terms of its tones. So like I said earlier, when switching from the bridge humbucker to the next single coil, you don't get these huge, vast volume differences. Even when you engage the split coil mode, everything is so well put together and so well balanced that you can pretty much use any tone and it's not going to drastically change the output levels or anything. I've had guitars in the past where I've turned on a split coil and you lose, half of your guitar signal. That doesn't happen with this thing. It's so well balanced tonally and kind of in terms of its output that, I can see why this would be a great touring instrument, and I can see why so many people in the touring world and the studio world rely on these things. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments what you think of the Godin Session T-Pro. There's some links in the description where you can check this thing out for yourself. Let me know if you've ever played any of these Godin guitars before, because I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on them as well. While you're letting me know what you think about that, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button as well. And I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching.